Here we have the function f of x. We want to be able to find the inverse function to the function f of x. So in general, when we're trying to find inverses, we take the x and y and we switch them, and then we solve for y again. So in this case, we're going to change the f of x back to a y. So we have y is equal to 6 minus x over 2. And then we're going to switch the x and the y because the domain becomes the range and the range becomes the domain. So I have x is equal to 6 minus y over 2. Now, since I switched the x and y, I want to now solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. So x minus 6 is equal to negative y divided by 2. Now to move the 2 to the other side, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. So multiply both sides by 2. And on the left side, I'm going to need to distribute. So I get 2x minus 12 is equal to negative y. Then we divide everything by negative 1 to get rid of the negative before that y. So we get negative 2x plus 12 is equal to positive y, or y is equal to negative 2x plus 12. So the inverse function of f, or f to the negative 1 of x, so the inverse of f is equal to negative 2x plus 12. All right, now once I find my inverse, I'm going to use composition of functions to verify it. So first I'm going to find f of f to the negative 1 of x. And if I did everything correctly, my answer should come out to be just x. So we have 6 minus, and I'm going to put parentheses where the x was as a placeholder. So parentheses over 2. Inside those parentheses, I'm going to insert the inverse function, which is negative 2x plus 12. And then we simplify using our order of operations. So I'm going to split this fraction. So we have 6 minus, and I'm going to separate this fraction into two different fractions. So I have negative 2x over 2 plus 12 over 2. And I'm going to simplify that, and I get 6 minus. Negative 2x over 2 just reduces to negative x, plus 12 divided by 2 gives me 6. And then I'm going to distribute this negative into the parentheses. So I get 6 plus x minus x, which gives me x. So my first verification worked. We got x. So we're off to a good start. So we have f to the negative 1 of f now, of x. And we start with the inverse function, which is negative 2 parentheses plus 12. Inside those parentheses, I'm going to insert the original function f, which was 6 minus x over 2. Okay, here, if we're following the order of operations, multiplication comes before addition. So we're going to go ahead and distribute. So I get negative 12 minus, or negative 12 plus, because negative 2 times negative x over 2 gives me a positive. And then so since we have a 2 in the numerator and denominator, they cancel out, and I'm left with x plus 12. Those 12s now cancel out, and I'm left with x. So my inverse function is this negative 2x plus 12. And on the right-hand side, we verified. We got x for both answers. So we know it's, in fact, the inverse.